beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Carrie Lynn. It is a beautiful day in the far north of Maine. It's so fabulous. Up along the Canadian border in the crown of Maine. And I hope everyone is having a nice, warm, sunny summer day wherever you may be. I hope you're having a day of fabulosity. I think everybody needs a fabulous day. So please go and have one. If you're not having a fabulous day, stop what you're doing, do something that you want to do, and turn your day around. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, today we're going to be talking about birds of a feather and how they often flock together. Before we begin, you need to understand that what is old is new again, as my grandmother would say. What comes around goes around, doesn't it? And it sure does. We are going back into an era of misinformation and disinformation policies. Here on my show, I do not give you medical advice and I don't teach you a darn thing. I just show you snippets of my life. I show you what we cook here on the homestead. I show you how we exercise. I take you for walks through our gardens. I show you our livestock, and I show you how we do things here on the homestead. And we are by no means trying to influence anybody into doing anything. We do not teach people how to do things because we are not experts in anything, and just show people. So you need to use your discernment when you see us doing something and decide whether or not it is applicable to your lifestyle or not. You got to use your noggin, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and decide if we may have solved a problem that you are having, whether or not you're going to do something that we do here on the homestead. But that's all your business, not mine. As I said, misinformation and disinformation, the policies are coming back. I equate it to the phone companies. Right now, we're on 5G. You can still pretty much do what you want, say what you want. And then we're going to be dropping shortly to 4G Lite, where the information doesn't come into the phone or into your computer fast enough. And that's just kind of what's going to happen when your data starts getting throttled. And it is coming up as we head into the fall. I can promise you that. It sort of started here on our show. I have had phone calls from family members who's been unsubscribed. It just depends on the show that I do. If I do a show that is not approved, it seems that we don't get any views. 5G Lite, 5G to 4G Lite, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. That's what's happening. We have people that are unsubscribed and people that find themselves unless they type it into the search bar. So if you want to find me, just Google me. I am the smallest syndicated show on the internet. Google Coffee with Carrie Lynn. It'll give you all the video and the audio platforms that I'm on. If you want my social media platforms, go and Google at Coffee with Carrie, and you will find me there. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, so much has happened this weekend that is overshadowing, I think, what's going to turn out to be a bigger story. Nobody is talking about what is going on in Colorado right now. And I'm going to tell you, quick heads up. I like the obscure. I don't like to scream breaking news unless it is breaking news, because you can find that everywhere. You can find the people that are always pushing their channel under crisis mode, and then you can find people with real information. Here we like to give you the information and a solution to any problem that may arise from the information you have just received. Today I want to talk about Colorado, birds of a feather flocking together. It is very important as we head into the fall for you to have, and for me to have, a very robust immune system. Colorado on July 3rd reported to the CDC. You can go right on the CDC website and get this information. They reported a dairy worker contracted the feather flu, the H5N1. And On July 14th, another report went into the CDC that 5 people on a poultry farm contracted the feather flu. They all turned up positive. So that's 6 whole people in Colorado that nobody is reporting on that have the feather flu. What seems to be the difference between the feather flu and the traditional seasonal flu is that with the feather flu, not only are you getting the aches and pains in the muscles, not only are you getting the fevers and the chills, not only are you getting the sore throat, the runny nose, and everything else that's associated with seasonal flu, but you're also getting conjunctivitis, which is pink eye, for those of you who don't know. So this is what we're dealing with. A few months ago, they had the feather flu talk at a very unusually high rate of mortality. But it just seems to me that the more feather flu cases that are coming out, the more species that are giving it to the human body, it seems to me that everybody after a short period of time feels great, feels fine, and moves on with their lives. So I'm not sure about the high rate of mortality, and I don't know. It's just one of those things. Was it a push on fear and anxiety? Because fear and anxiety does have a very large impact on your immune system, as does your vitamin intake, your dietary intake, and your exercise routine. It has a huge impact on your immune system. If you are experiencing a sunny day today, go step outside. Get some sunshine on your skin. You will be naturally absorbing vitamin D. Fancy that. Vitamin D is good for the hair, it's good for the skin, it's good for the nails, it's good for the mood, and it is good for the immune system. As you guys know, I often talk about the gut brain connection, which some people find as fact and some people find as fiction. Y'all do your research on gut brain connection, on eating a whole clean diet, and maybe you want to experiment a little bit. That's what we do around here. We do a lot of experimenting with different points of view, and then we come to our own conclusions. And that's what we ask everybody that watches my show to do. Come to your own conclusion about things. You know you best. You know when you are feeling good. You know when your body is starting to come down with the thing. You know when you are feeling your mood escalate, and you know when you are feeling your mood de-escalate. And you know what to do to alleviate the negative feelings in your system, in your mind, your body, and in your soul. So you guys know that we live very holistically here on the homestead. We live very close to nature. We constantly walk around outside with our naked feet touching Mother Earth because it does a body good. We are all connected to nature, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. And we exist in the natural ecosystem. So we here on the homestead just like to do things a little more naturally instead of synthetically. However, in the winter, we do have to take the vitamin D tabs because we have very long winters here in the far north of Maine. We have a lot of traditional, conventional cold and flu season here in the far north of Maine. We have a lot of dreary, dismal days without a lot of sunshine in the winter here in the far north of Maine. So we like to be outside in the summertime, getting some of that sunshine on our skin because our body knows how to make vitamin D. We don't have to do anything. We just have to go outside, sit out on the porch a minute, with our morning coffee, enjoy the quietness, And believe me, in the early morning, it is dead quiet out here. There's no traffic going by. And you just sit out there, watch the sunrise, get that nice warm sunshine on your skin, and get some natural vitamin D in the system. So it seems to be that people that are keeping their immune systems up tend to be less ill of certain illnesses. Now I am watching breaking news scroll across my phone screen as I talk to you. I knew about this breaking news yesterday. I watched the Michael Knowles show. Everybody is currently at the RNC. Make this really, really quick. You guys can go watch Michael Knowles' show from yesterday. That would be July 16th, where he interviewed Don Trump Jr. And in that interview about all the happenings over the weekend and how the Trump family was notified and everything surrounding that incident, how they were affected by the attempted assassination of their father, Donald Trump. It was alluded to by Don Jr. that there needs to be an investigation of the Secret Service's inside job. So you go watch Michael Knowles' show from yesterday, July 16th, where he interviews Don Trump Jr. And you listen to it. It's about half an hour long, not really long, and listen to what Don Jr. has to say. Whatever the reasons surrounding Saturday, the Trump family is well aware of their personal danger. Just so that you guys know. And it's all scrolling across my screen right now from other independent media outlets about how for about a half an hour, the gunman was being watched by local authorities, how the roof that the gunman was on was completely unsecured, and you can hear it right from the family, right from Don Jr. himself if you go watch Michael Knowles' show yesterday, July 16th, 2024, from the RNC in his interview with Don Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, everything that has happened over this last weekend is made and done and reported in such a way that you stay fearful and anxious. What's going to happen next? I can't believe this has happened. It is a strategy to cause massive confusion to the mind. We talked about Darvo in one of my weekend segments. We talked about Darvo, and I will link that in the description below. And that is meant to confuse you. It is meant to stop you from making clear decisions, whether it is a big decision or a small decision. They want you to exist with your fight or flight mechanism in the on position, and the human body is not meant to live in a constant state of fear and anxiety that actually depletes the immune system. It causes confusion, brain fog in the brain. It will hinder you on purpose from making decisions, from discerning misinformation and disinformation from the truth. And that's how they want us to live. Now, when I get a little brain foggy, when I get a little too anxious, and I know this has a direct effect on my immune system, what I do is I simply step outside. I do a little bit of gardening, stick my hands in the dirt because, you know, those microbiomes do promote a healthy system. They make your mind, your body, and your soul a lot more resilient, and you can tolerate your anxiety a lot better. A lot of people don't know how to handle anxiety because, especially young people, because they're not taught how to handle their feelings. They're taught to just throw their feelings up all over the world, all over people, and it doesn't matter because there are no consequences. We're starting to see consequences for the party of toleration that tolerates nobody. If you haven't noticed, over the weekend, a lot of people who wished ill on social media networks have been fired from their jobs. Um, they've been confronted by YouTubers in their place of employment for making certain videos and certain statements on social media. So what's old is new again. What comes around goes around, ladies and gentlemen. Every dog does really have their day. Sometimes it doesn't look like it's coming fast enough, but it is actually happening. And you just got to stay out of that mix and step outside and decompress. Whether it's taking your dogs for a walk, playing with your cats, playing with your kids, taking the kids to the beach, get away from it for a while, shut the social media down, shut off the internet completely, and do real things. Your reality is what you can personally touch. The people you can personally connect with, the people you can hug, that's your reality. Not everything else going on in the outside world. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, you need to stay connected to outside information insofar as you need to know what is going on, but then you need to set it aside if it is not directly affecting your life. Right now, the bird flu in Colorado, the feather flu, does not affect me here in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border. What happened in Pennsylvania at the rally, the attempted assassination, does not directly affect me here in the far north of Maine. It has enlightened me, absolutely. It has enlightened all of us. We all had it on our bingo card. We just didn't know the when, the where, and the why. But everybody has predicted Saturday. Everybody predicted an attempted assassination on former President Trump. And it wasn't a leap. If you are in the news cycle, it was not a leap and a bound to get to what happened on Saturday. Unfortunately, this is the era that we live in. We live in very interesting times, and interesting times are often difficult times for people to process. My grandmother was born into the Great Depression, and she lived her entire life in the Great Depression up into World War II. She was 18 years old when the war actually ended. So she lived the first 18 years of her life under very difficult, trying times, and many of our ancestors did. So if you are having a lot of anxiety about what's next, a lot of fear about what's next, we can't predict all that accurately. We can only predict the obvious things, the logical things, the things that happen one step, one foot in front of the other. Those things are very easily predicted, and I know a lot of people came out and said, this psychic predicted this, and this psychic predicted that with accuracy, and this person predicted this. It was a logical leap the way things were going to predict that something may happen, and it did happen. And we need to be aware that just because people said it may happen doesn't mean that it's going to happen. We just need to be a little more prepared and a little more savvy for the possibility, the strong possibility of things we couldn't even conceive beginning to happen as we move forward into the fall and the election season heats up a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, thank you for spending some time with me. Do not forget to like this video if you like it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And attention's good attention. Share the show with a friend. And above all, carpe diem. Seize your day because no one promised you a tomorrow.